Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan, and I'm joined by Adam of Games and Groceries.
Hey, it's me. I'm back, but not on Games and Groceries, on this show.
Yeah, you're back. I know. Glad to have you back. I'm excited that we're talking about a game again. This is fun.
I know. I mean, I just thought about you can introduce me as Adam from Strange Cast. It's the podcast I'm doing with Adnan about Life is Strange.
That's true. I'm going to have to throw those deets in the mention as well. I guess if people don't know about Strange Cast or Games and Groceries, do you want to tell people about it, where to find you?
Yeah, totally. I'll start with Games Groceries since that's a little bit on hiatus right now. But Games Groceries was it was three sections. There was a movie review, like a very brief movie review that me and my wife would do. Then we would go into the top 3 gaming news of the week, and you can still catch up on episodes, like really see how well these news reports aged. And then we would go into like this really unique topic about the gaming industry. Sometimes we would have guests on. We had Dan on 3 episodes, I want to say 3 or 4.
I think you're right. I think it's 3.
3. Yeah, we had you on for 3 episodes. But it's a fun show, and we're trying to revamp it again once I move. but now I'm on Strange Cast with Adnan Reyes, who is now verified on Twitter, which is wild. But yeah, we talk about Life is Strange news, Life is Strange topics. You can find Strange Cast on YouTube and all other audio podcasts. But yeah, we just talk about Life is Strange. We just came out with a new episode of why people might be a little bit nervous about the remastered collection coming out soon. So tight episodes, very, very tight. And one last pitch I'll give to you. We are still doing eVaults, our other YouTube channel, which is like a video essay kind of video. And we just dropped a video not too long ago called Why You Might Be Losing Interest in Video Games. So I'm very proud of that video. So check that one out too. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Awesome. No, that's great. Yeah, definitely check Adam's stuff out. I've really enjoyed those things. Also, if you want more of him and I talking through a game like this, he's been on this podcast several times as well. So go check those in the feed.
Was it 2 or 3 times? I know I
think it's 3 also.
I think this might be the 3rd because I did God of War with you and I did Spider-Man. No. This is the 4th because then we did the cloud game.
Yeah, Rain on Your Parade. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We've shifted from indie games or from PlayStation games to indie games, it seems. Yeah. So that's fun. And also, of course, we're here today to talk about Unpacking, which is great. And as Adam mentioned earlier, he's moving soon, so very, very relevant, which we'll surely dig into more. But yeah, check Adam's stuff out for sure. But I guess with that, we'll jump into packing. Would you want to grab that description of the game for us?
Oh, for sure. By the way, listeners, I'm sorry. I'm recovering from a cold, so if I sniffle during this, I'm sorry. But here we go. Description of the game. Unpacking is a Zen game about the familiar experience of pulling possessions out of boxes and filling them in a new home. Part block fitting puzzle, part home decoration, you are invited to create a satisfying living space while learning clues about the life you're unpacking. Over the course of 8 house moves, it was 8, you are given a chance to experience a sense of intimacy with a character you never see and a story you're never told.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a very apt description as well. I
can't wait to play this game. This really sounds a really cool game, man. I can't wait to play
it. Yeah, and then also it's developed by Witch Games. They're known for a game called Assault Android Cactus, and I think there might be another, like it might be a series. There might be a few of those games, but also if you're an Xbox person, this game is actually on Game Pass right now. So
go Xbox people.
Yeah, so Xbox people. Yeah, go check this out because you already have it. So before we dive kind of into a recap talking through each level on the game, we did want to do kind of a quick non-spoiler section to share a little bit about what we thought of the game and, let you get an idea of maybe if this game is for you. So
Yeah.
One thing I have a thought on this game is it's super relaxing and enjoyable. It's got those chill vibes. If you like Animal Crossing, I think you'd probably like this. I think it has sort of that similar kind of feel of relaxing. Or a different game I'd compare it to, if you played the game Florence, the packing mechanic is quite similar to the packing mechanic in that game. And so if you played that and you wanted more of it, this game has it.
Yeah.
So I think if those things are kind of your deal, I think Unpacking would be for you for sure.
There was one thing I like. There's a couple things I had where, one, there's accessibility options in this game. So there is puzzle aspects of this game. And I didn't know about the accessibility options until you texted me. Like, it's like when I was almost done the game, you're like, oh, yeah, I turned that off. I turned this off because, because like I'm into puzzle games, but Dan, you're not so much. It has nothing to do with intelligence. Like, oh, I like puzzle games. It has everything to do with like, yeah, it's just not my thing.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't like struggling too hard with a puzzle. Like, I'll work at it for a little bit, but after a while, I'm like, I'm bored. I don't want to do this. So,
exactly. So what you're saying is that you're too good for puzzle games, is what I'm hearing. Yes. But yeah, I think this accessibility changes the genre of the game from a puzzle game into kind of like what you said, a very much AC vibes, Animal Crossing. Not Assassin's Creed, and Florence kind of vibe, rather than like a puzzle game, like nice and relaxing, So there is accessibility in this. And what I did like, I started this the night before I was going to play the whole thing, because I was like, oh, let me get through the tutorial first, and then like tomorrow, I'll just go ahead and play through. There really is no tutorial in this game. Like, it's just kind of like, hey man, here's a box, go ahead, unpack it. Like, what? Yeah, go ahead, here's a box, unpack. Do it now. It's just like it's very simple. It's not really a tutorial needed. Just kind of like, chillax, unpack some boxes, put some stuff here and there, and you're good to go, man. It's very easy vibes for that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I like too that they offer the option to have it be more puzzly or not if you want. So I think I played like half of the game with the puzzle mechanic on, and then maybe halfway through I was like, all right, I can't tell what this item is, so I don't know where it goes. Like, I think one of the later levels, there was like maybe a magnet for the fridge, but I couldn't tell what it was, so I was like, oh, I'll just put this on a bookshelf. And then they were like, oh, you didn't put this in the right place. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And so I liked that I could turn it off because to be able to do that. But I think this game can be both of those of like, I don't know, enjoying those, or like how specifically you like to decorate the house even kind of thing. So I think it does like provide a lot of options.
It's just one of those things where it's just like, play the way you want, And I applaud games that do that. Like, play the way you want and just chillax. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that was a really strong move by this game.
Yeah.
I think if they would have made you have to play it one way or the other, I think you could miss out on some audience. But because they gave you the option, I think that depending on who you are and what you want to lean into, it could be for more people. So I thought that was really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's really about all I've got about non-spoilers. I think that's sort of the vibe. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
The last thing I'll say about the puzzle aspect, be careful about turning it off, because there are some things where you place it in the wrong place, but it's actually a story beat. There's actually some things in this game where you have to place an item in a certain place, and that tells a bit of the story of what's going on here. So, like, there is some kind of like emotional beats to the way you place your items, but like I said, like, it's a double-edged sword where like you can chillax by turning it off, but it's also you might miss out on some story things when you turn it off.
Oh, no, that's a good caution. What I guess also going further on how I turned mine off, what I did was, so halfway through I turned it off for the first time, and then when I started the next level, I turned it back on, and then I played until the end, and then once it told me you have these items wrong, I'd try to figure them out, and then if I couldn't, I'd turn it off. And so I just kept repeating the levels that way. as I
Fair
went.
enough.
But I think that's a really good call though, right there, because I'm confident that there are probably story beats that I missed because I had it turned off. Because I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. Who cares? Like I'm confident I did that. So that's a good call out. Cool. So that's our kind of non-spoiler thoughts here, though. So we'll jump into kind of the recap, talk about the levels we went through, things that stood out to us in them, that sort of stuff. So, as said in the description, this game is basically a series of unpacking rooms or houses. Some of the levels are just one room. Other ones you gain more access to the house as you go. So, and the way the game is kind of shown is through like a photo album, where you'll go to a photo album, you'll pull out you'll turn to a page and it'll say a day, a year, and then maybe like a sentence about it. So the first one is May 1997. Finally, my own room. And so this is our main character's room, and I think she's about 10 is my guess. I don't know if you felt stronger on the ages than I did, but I was like, it seems like maybe like end of elementary school, early middle school was my vibe.
You're actually very close. And I don't know if you see my note. It's pulling back the curtain here, I guess. But there's certain levels where I won't go into it. But there's certain levels and in certain years, and then I did the math of like primarily like what age she is in this time in life. Then I did the math, subtracted it, blah blah blah, and she's around 10 or 11 years old in this scene. I would say like the very first thing, she's around 10 or 11.
Okay, cool. So for this one, this room is I would say, with being middle school, it's sort of a mix of like toys and childhood things, and then I feel like also sort of like, oh, you're not having to grow up, but kind of. It's like, oh, you have school stuff, you have like sports and stuff you're involved in, but also like for me, I just placed all the stuffed animals on the bed. I was like, yeah, they're all here. That's what I would do if I were her.
See, I'm a dork, and as you see, like in my background shelf here, it's like I mostly place the stuffed animals on like the little bookshelves as like display items. I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. I'll just put it in display here, display there, display. I was like,
that's awesome.
Liz, my wife, she was watching me, and she's just like, why are you doing that? I'm like, I don't know. It's just a little display.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, I would say pretty low-key of a room. And as you said, there's not really a tutorial. But if there was one, this first level feels like an intro because you only have one room. You're only dealing with one space. And it's all yours, and, it's childhood. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and this is the first time I faced the, like, this item's in the wrong place, blah, blah, blah. Because at the end, it just said, like, hey, man, this diary is in the wrong place, because I put the diary on the desk. Like, so you unpack this locked diary, and I'm just like, oh, it's her diary. I will put it on the desk for her to write in. And that's where the game will just like, you start to get to the end, and it just starts blinking reds. And I'm like, the heck is that about? And I just like started to figure like, oh, you want me to place this in a certain spot. Where? It's like, so I thought that was a good place to do it.
Yeah, because it wanted you to like put it in the drawer or something, maybe, of the desk.
In the drawer, and like I said, Liz, who was watching me, who is female, she's like, yeah, you put it in the drawer or under the pillow. And I'm like, what? And then if you put it under the pillow, that's also a right choice. She's like, that's the only two options to put a diary. I was just like, oh. Did not know that.
That's great. I did put it in the drawer, but I had the same thing happen because I think there was an iPad or an iPod, and I think I put in the bed, and they were like, "No, you can't have your iPod in the bed. You got to put it on your desk." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like,
"Goes into bed."
Yeah, I want to listen to music before I go to bed. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Come on. It's 1997. Listen to music before you go to sleep.
Right. Yeah. But I think that is fun.
Yeah.
Of those, both, as you said, you have a right spot, but also if you want to turn it off, you can put it wherever you want, which I like that freedom, because I was like, oh, how these houses are decorated aren't necessarily how I would decorate things. but I can understand
Yeah.
why they're right also, like it's a good
Yeah.
balance of those, and also having that freedom to go either way.
I have a feeling, and I don't think it actually confirms or denies this, but I feel like this game is set in Japan, and I don't think it says either way. But then you get to like some of the later levels, and this definitely looks like Americanized. But it definitely feels like more of like a Tokyo-esque living space, because they are a little bit more tighter packed. They are a little bit more minimalist kind of a setting in that sort of architecture. But yeah, I don't think it really confirms it or denies it,
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I don't know either, and I did wonder that kind of along the way. I feel like that actually segues to our next level that we get to, which is January 2004, and it says classes start Monday, uni, here I come. Just going to university, and for me,
well, that's another clue. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to cut it out, but that's another clue why this isn't in America, because she calls it uni and not college. So
that's true.
If anything, like, it's at least not in America, because no American calls it university.
That's true. Which I wish we did. I think university sounds way cooler than college.
It does. Straight up. There's a lot of things that non-American countries do better, like use the metric system. But it is what it is.
That's true. I agree. They do a lot. There are a lot of things that are better. But uni, here I come. But things that sort of confused me or made me uncertain about this time frame even was, did they enroll in college a semester early? Did they start a semester late? Is it halfway through senior year and they're saying, here I come, I've got to finish my senior year? But what was weird about it, though, is that this room, to me, looks kind of like a college apartment, I guess. Yeah. Kind of. But then, this is stepping ahead. We'll talk about it when we get there. But then there's a part where there's roommates, and so I don't know if it's this is the dorm room, and then the next time is moving off campus kind of thing. But it is kind of interesting trying to figure out the context clues, because I think you're right. It's not in the United States, so this experience is a little different than my own for sure.
Yeah, because the way, okay, so if you haven't played this game, which, by the way, if you're in spoiler, then yeah, you've played this game. But the way this is set up, you got this little dorm room, which is where you think it all ends, because the first level is just within one room. But now there's 3 rooms. There's this little dorm section where we're all familiar with when we went to college, blah, blah, blah. Student loans and all that. But, you got this little dorm, and then you got this kitchen area, which is the nicest kitchen I've ever seen. If it's not like a multi-room dorm. It's a nice kitchen for just a single room dorm. And then you have the bathroom section. This is the nicest dorm I've ever seen in my entire life. But it has to be a 1-bedroom apartment that she's renting out, right? There's no way this is a dorm, right? It's
I'm not sure. It didn't. I wasn't quite sure what it was, just because of where it fit. Yeah, I'm not sure, because I think we should talk about these two together, because I do feel like they're similar. But March 2007, that one has a note that says, wait, we're all sharing one bathroom. To me, that really seems like a college thing more than getting roommates for the first time.
3-bedroom, 1 bath. The heck is that?
No, right. Because for that seems of course, if you're moving off campus with roommates, of course you'd have a shared bathroom. Actually, it's a house.
Now I say that out loud, actually, I take that back, because when me and Liz were looking for apartments out here, by the way, we moved to North Dakota. We're in Fargo, North Dakota. Hooray. No longer in that Pennsylvania. But we actually looked at apartments that actually had 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Okay. Which is wild. How do you have 3 bedrooms? So there's got to be at least 3 people living with you. Maybe you're using it as an office thing, but then 1 bath. The heck is that? Like, you're sharing one toilet with 3 bedrooms? I don't know. Like, so, like, as soon as I say how ridiculous it is in March 2007, that's a thing here, even in America, where it's just like 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. Like, right now we have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's like, how do you make an apartment that has 3 bedrooms, 1 bath? I don't know. It's just absolutely insanity. So even Americans like dropped the ball in that one. So
No, yeah, I feel like that's not an ideal setup. But I thought that was strange though, because just that, like, is it that in March 2007 you're halfway through college, but you moved off campus, to an apartment that had 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, or whatever. So I'm not exactly sure of the logistics of it. Either way, I feel like your kind of big things that happen in these 2 chapters, I guess, is, first one, going to college. You go there, and a lot of the, things from childhood are gone, right? Like, you don't have your soccer ball anymore or things like that. But things that did stick around, there was like one stuffed animal that's like the one, which was really nice, and you see that kind of throughout everything, which is cute. And I think there were art supplies still. Is that a thing that she kept up with as well?
See, I think, because she had art supplies in her childhood room, and, let's like coloring books and crayons, all that, like your basic kind of, basic kind of things. But this one, like, this is pretty evident that she's in university as an art major. Like, this is pretty obvious she's an art major here because she has some more serious art things. Like, she has that little wooden guy that, like, you have to, like, put in certain places as, like, kind of like a reference of how to draw him. I forget what they're called.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that.
And if you actually click on the wooden guy, he actually changes positions too. I don't know if you did that.
I didn't. That's cool.
Yeah, I got a little achievement that said, like, you made the wooden guy dab, because, like, there's a position where he's dabbing. I was like, that's amazing. Actually, I think it was in. I think about it, that was in 2007 that I did that. That was in the 2007 room. I don't think dabbing was a thing in 2007 at all.
I got an achievement, but for and it was because I saw it in the commercial. But putting the toaster in the bathtub.
Yeah, dude, like it was like putting an electronic in a dangerous spot or something like that.
Yeah, something silly like that. But I thought it was funny that they came up with like weird secret achievements for if you do, like, if while you're rearranging you do this thing that's out of the ordinary. I thought that was fun as just little like things they put in there of a game that is largely silent. I think that's something that's pretty not there's music all the time and it sounds great, but like silent in that, you get one sentence at a time with years passing by, and you just get stuff to move around a room or multiple rooms. Like it's pretty unique of a thing, and so to have achievements for different things is kind of a fun thing they threw in there.
So I want to, you said, like, you mentioned music real quick, and I just wanted to get the composer's name right because you okay, I got it. But yeah, when he said the music's great, I legitimately thought that when I was listening to this, I thought I was listening to Lena Raine. Is it Lena? Okay, now I have to look it up. Lena Raine, right? Because man, I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know if she pronounces it Lena or Lena, and I feel stupid. But the composer behind Chicory and more famously Celeste. Like, this is very, Lena Raine-esque music, and it's not. It's actually composer Jeff Van Dyke, which he also did Shogun 2. He did Emperor Risk of that 4. It's like he did some smaller games, and he also did this one. Very, very interestingly enough, this guy put in a lot of work into this game. Like, he was, of course, the composer as well as the sound designer of this game. And I put this in my notes a little bit later, but speaking of the music, this gentleman, Jeff Van Dyke, he actually put in 14,000 audio files into this game just for picking up and putting items down.
Wow.
14,000 different audio files of like picking up like different like things around the places and putting them down and unpacking them. 14,000 audio files, as well as composing the music. So, a round of applause for Jeff Van Dyke.
Yeah, for real. That's incredible.
Yeah, right? So, yeah, I'll have to keep my eye on that guy, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I thought that the soundtrack, the music to this was perfect for this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, totally nailed it.
Very lo-fi, but very effective. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, okay, kind of in this college section. Also, so the March 2007, we talked about, sharing one bathroom. There's 3 bedrooms there. So, of course, you don't unpack the bedrooms that aren't yours, but you do unpack your own. And you've got 2 roommates here in this. And you see their stuff kind of, there's some stuff that's in the mutual space, like living room or kitchen. Each person has their own items that are kind of scattered through the house or in the bathroom, but then you're also adding your stuff along the way.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of the main stuff I see in these 2 chapters. Do you have anything else in these that you think's worth pulling out?
Yeah, I think the really cool thing about the dynamic between the first 2 levels being your own room, and you get to decorate it, and you say, like, finally my own room, and you get to make it your own. This is where your personality really starts to envelop. And then you go into a 1-bedroom apartment, and it's still your thing. You're moving into college. It's still nice. But now the dynamic is now sharing a space. Your personality is not the entire world here anymore. Like, you kind of have to, like, share a space. But you still have a room that is yours. But you're also having a shared space here. Like, you putting your GameCube into the living room. It's like, so you kind of have to share that space a little bit. Your personality kind of gets a little bit more condensed as the years go on, but you still have like a good amount of your personality within the 2007 the 2007 version of this, which I just realized that 2007 speaking of Xbox people, 2004 is when Halo 2 dropped, and 2007 is when Halo 3 dropped. So I think we're getting some hints here that she's actually, she has a GameCube, but I'm pretty sure she's an Xbox person. I don't know. Here it is. That's my theory.
Big Master Chief fan.
Yeah, it's just like nothing about this. But I like how like you have to fit your life within this shared space. So it's kind of like that challenge of that,
Yeah, no, that's true. I think that is different. Because there are things that you're like, oh, I should keep this in my room,
Yes.
Whereas before, like, you only had your room, so that's where you kept it. But then, as you go further, you're like, oh, okay, I don't want to put all my stuff in the living room or something. Like, I want to choose certain things to be there.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I guess also this is a good one to bring up here. Is so now as you get more rooms, not everything that you unpack from a box goes in the room that you unpack it in. So, for instance,
I complain about that for like, okay, no, you go, because I can go, yeah.
No, yeah. So, for instance, like you might unpack a box in the living room, and there's a roll of toilet paper. Well, okay, that obviously doesn't go in the living room. You've got to switch over to you got to take that over with you to the bathroom and put that in the bathroom. So that's something that's kind of introduced as an additional, I guess, puzzle type mechanic as you get more rooms.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can I complain about this young girl's packing like this main character does not know how to pack a box properly, and it just ticked me off so much. So put it this way, me and my wife have now moved. This next move that we're about to do in March is going to be our 6th move in 5 years of marriage. So take that as you will. So we have experience in packing boxes and making sure they're labeled. This girl She just be packing her boxes, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll just throw my left boot in here, a roll of toilet paper, maybe my comic books, and a dish. There you go. Bop, bop, packed box. Next box, please. I will pack my right shoe, my my stuffed piggy, maybe my record collection. Who knows? Pack the box, and I'm just like, this girl is just chaotic evil. I don't know what's wrong with her. It's just like, there's no lawful evil to this. She is a chaotic evil. Like, I am not appreciating the way she packs her boxes. So I'm just like, goodness. And she takes it all through her adulthood. And I was like, stop it. Get some experience.
That's funny. You've moved enough. Get better at this.
Exactly. Come on now. That's just like,
no, that's really funny. I think that, like, I like the idea of, sometimes things aren't packed where they really should be. Because that does happen to everyone. But you are right. There were times where it felt really chaotic, where it was like you just grabbed the 4 things you saw first and put them in a box. And it's like, what the hell? Like, I could understand more if, like, the bathroom box accidentally ended up in the living room. Well, okay, cool. We got to take this whole box and switch it. Yeah. That's fine. But instead it's like, okay, 3/4 of the toilet paper is in this box, but then 1 is just somewhere else. And it's not because the toilet paper box was full. It's just we put it somewhere else for some reason. So I get that. Some of it was chaotic.
And I get it's a puzzle game, but like there was one moment where like my wife works from home and I'm like playing this game, and there was one point I just said a lot of like, girl, and my wife goes like, what? I'm like, oh, nothing. And then like I finished my sentence like, girl, where is your right shoe? Where is it? I was like, because I had the left boot, and I was like, girl, where'd you put your right boot? Like, my goodness. And I was just like so ticked off, and I was like telling Liz about it too. I was like, see the way she packs her boxes? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think once I had the first time where it was wrong too, I was like, oh, I'm just going to unpack this entire box and just put it on the ground somewhere so that I have all the things. Like, what I ended up starting doing is just unpacking like a whole room and taking all of the stuff out. And if there were things I wasn't sure where I wanted to put them, I just put them on the ground or on the bed or, somewhere out of the way so that I could pack.
You're a lawful evil then. Got it.
Yeah, because she packed weird. I unpacked everything so then I could pack it, like, place it the way I wanted. Because like the boot thing or something, I'm like, okay, well, I want to line my shoes up at the front of the closet. Yeah. Oh, you only put 1 there. Well, I'm not going to put this one there because what if I want to put something behind it? So, okay, I'll leave the shoes off to the side for a minute till I get both of them. Like, it made me have to be messy to be able to get it how I wanted. Rather than like, because like something that would happen too later is, later on you get a closet to store your clothes, which is cool. But you've got like t-shirts, but then you also have like nice dresses or nice shirts that you need to like hang on hangers. And so the first time I went through, it's like, oh, the t-shirts came up first, so I just put them on the hangers. And then, my dress comes up and I'm like, oh, I've got to switch that out because like no one's folding a dress up and throwing it in a drawer. You got to hang that up. Sorry, t-shirt. Yeah. Like I got me. So it made me like, I was like, okay, I've got to like do this that way. So that mechanic made you have to deal with it, and either just throw shit where you wanted or throw it on the ground and decide later or whatever. Yeah. So, which I do think some of that is certainly true in packing. Like I feel like there's always one box that isn't in the right place, and you're like, where the hell is this thing? And you can't find it weeks later. Like,
yeah, that's fair. I'll take that one. Yeah.
But I think she is more chaotic evil, as you said.
Yeah. You're the lawful evil, but she is the chaotic evil. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, same way. When I've moved and packed with my wife, like we're labeling everything really well. I'll like color code the rooms. Like, okay, this, I'm gonna write in blue. This is kitchen, and then all the boxes that say kitchen have blue on them, so to take it to the kitchen. Like, I want to make it easy to not fuck up. Because Because, the worst thing in moving is if you're moving and someone's like, hey, where does this go? Well, the box says it, the room says it. Like, you don't even need to ask. It's clear. So
you treat them like an idiot, just like, come on, man, it's color coded. Get your shit together.
yeah. We'll make it easy for him. Because, the worst thing is that if you just have to ask where each item goes, that shit's going to take forever. So after having moved several times, I did that. I didn't do that at first. Before, I was probably not as good. But
yeah, the more moves you do, you're more like, oh, okay, yeah, I got this down packed. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, gotten better at it. Made it better for myself and for the people who are helping.
Yeah, true.
But chaotic evil. So, okay. The next kind of big moment that happens, our next level for our character, though, is September 2010. And it says, feels so serious moving into his place. So, this is pretty different than any of the other places because our character is moving in with her boyfriend. And this one also adds levels. So, you and him have the same room. So, he's already got his stuff there. And you're like unpacking within it and, divvying that up, figuring that out. And then there's a bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a study. And so what's pretty interesting feeling about this level is even before this, it felt like you were moving into kind of not a blank canvas, but a sort of blank canvas feel. This one, it's pretty like this is his room or this is his apartment. And now you're adding to it, and you do feel that at times. Like you don't always feel like you have space for things you want to put out.
Yeah, I think the dynamic for this one was before you had your own spaces, and then the next one you kind of like sharing your space. This one, it just really feels like you're just trying to fit yourself into somebody else's world. Like this is his world, and you're just trying to put yourself somewhere in it. It's like, okay, find yourself some space. I'm not going to make space for you. Like you got to fit into my life, basically. And I'm sure that's what the beautiful thing about this game is that Unpacking has a lot of emotions to it. Like I'm talking about like real life, not just like the title of this game, but Unpacking has a lot of emotions to it. And when you're just trying to put stuff in, you're really describing who you are as a person. Like, I think I'm going to put this TV on top of the oven. That's just who I am. I'm just a little kooky like that. But you're really describing who you are. And when you don't have the space to do that, you're really kind of, what's the word I'm kind of looking for here? You're really trying to really stretch yourself thin or kind of like really hold yourself back as a person is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's what this scene is more of just like, oh, well, I need to fit in his life. And I think there's a lot of people who've been in those kinds of relationships where, even just on a relationship kind of standpoint where I'm trying to fit this person's schedule. I'm trying to fit this person's feelings. I'm trying to fit this person's whole life. I don't have enough space to even put myself into this relationship, So I think it's a pretty complex scene, but it's told in a very simple way. If that all makes sense. Yeah.
No, yeah, it does. And just feeling like you've got to squeeze a bit of you out to be able to fit in there to be this us, but like I don't know if you're not all the way you, is it really that great kind of thing. Did
you turn off the puzzle dynamic when you were in this scene?
I think I did because share what you're going to share. I think that you're thinking what I'm thinking about.
I was going to ask you, where did you put your diploma?
Okay, so I turned this off, but I'd read about it later. There's not like space in the office to hang it up, right? That's the issue.
Yeah, there's not even an office. Like the other thing is that like in all the other places you had a place to put your art supplies, to put your workstation. There is no desk. There is no office. Like you're kind of like you're there. And so one thing, you have to put your art supplies on like the kitchen island. You know what I mean? Like that's your workspace. So you're on the kitchen island. And the other part is that it's the right place to put the diploma, or at least, excuse me, my goodness, burp gang. But the other right place to put your diploma is under the bed.
Oof.
Like, yeah, like that's the right place to put it, is under the bed, out of sight, because you're putting your dreams on a halt at that point.
That
It's
sucks.
yeah, it's a pretty heavy scene, honestly.
I think I probably didn't figure out where it went, and so I just put it on a wall somewhere
Yeah.
and moved on. But that's amazing. I feel like that's super powerful storytelling of your art supplies. No, there's not a place for them in the study. There's not a spot for them. Just work at the kitchen table. Or your diploma doesn't really belong on my walls. Almost sort of thing. Just tuck it away somewhere, which is like, it's in a frame. Like, that's shitty. That's so
It
shitty.
is.
Like, put it on a wall somewhere. Like, take something down, dude.
But he won't make space. And even the colors in this scene, like, it's very black and white for him, but you're very colorful. You're an artist, and your stuff sticks out like a sore thumb. You know, it's like it's his world, but like your stuff like sticks out. It's a little crazy, yeah.
And you can't. His stuff is all set up, and you can't like move it particularly, right? You can't.
Yep,
like
you can't move his stuff.
It's stuck. It's where it is. So
Yep.
you can't like be like, oh, I'll move this picture over.
Oh wait, no, I think you can move like a couple things. Like you can move his like records and his record player, but it's in the wrong place at that point. Like it's in the wrong place. You need to put it back. You know, like you can't really move his stuff. Like you can, but you shouldn't. You know,
Right. So it sucks. It's a bummer, and I think this is really masterfully done for not using words and you learning these things. Because at first when you start this level, you're like, oh, that's so cool. I'm moving in with my boyfriend, and then as it goes, you're like, oh, maybe this isn't as good as it seems. Which.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
Which I have a theory, and I can't prove it, but I think one of the roommates in the 3-bedroom was the boyfriend you move in with.
Okay.
I can't prove it because like I kept going back to the 3-bedroom one. I'm like, there is a guy in the 3-bedroom. There's a girl, like one of the roommates is a girl, and then one of the roommates is indeed a guy, because you find like a man's razor. You find they did a play on words for like Axe soap and stuff. I think it's like Laxel or something like that. It's definitely Axe body spray and stuff.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a guy in one of the 3 bedrooms. So I can't prove it, but I think it might be the one of the roommates. I don't know for sure though. Like it's not 100% certain though.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be possible.
Yeah.
Our next level, though, is June 2012, and it's titled "This Room Used to Feel Bigger." So you move back home to the first level when it was my first room, and you unpack in your old room. You also get access to the bathroom to put your stuff in there, and you feel the sadness of like, oh, I broke up with my boyfriend and I had moved back home. Like there's a part that really has that, like, because also the way that you previously decorated that first room when it was my first room, some of that stuff's still there. It looks similar. Some of the toys or like things you'd left behind are still around, and you go back to it and you're like, oh, I'm moving my adult life back into this, and overall feels like a bummer. I would say one like positive tangent side for this is that's cool that she has parents who she could go back with and like would want to live with, presumably for a while. So I think that's pretty cool that they like let her, like, we're cool with her coming back and she could get on her feet and all that. Like, I think that part is cool.
Yeah, I think actually it's only one parent. I think, because if you go into the bathroom, there's not really evidence of a second person within that bathroom other than you. I think it's just her and her mom. I think it's just a single parent kind of situation.
I missed that.
Yeah, like, again, not 100% sure. Maybe there's another bathroom, just for the man, because us men, we need our separate private stuff. Blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, another dynamic. Did you also turn off the the puzzle aspect on this because there's another story beat in this one too.
What was it?
So
Since it's only 2 rooms, I think I got it, but maybe not.
you have to hang up a picture of you and your ex-boyfriend. There's a picture of you and your ex-boyfriend, but if you hang it up, it's in the wrong spot. You're not supposed to hang it up. You know where you're supposed to put it? Hide it in the cupboard. Like, you have to get it out of sight for you to move on to the next level. If you turn on the puzzle aspect, you have to hide it in the cupboard.
Okay, I definitely didn't do that then. I probably just hung it up and then moved on.
It's like, this is stupid. I don't know where else to hang the picture.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Wow. Okay, that's good. That's a great story beat of hiding it away. I can't see this anymore.
Yeah. Like that's what I
fantastic.
mean. That's what I mean at the beginning of this episode when I said like it's a double-edged sword if you turn off this setting where like play the way you want, move on, but you also miss some story beats here and there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. Because I think that with that, it's like, I knew that this was a sad thing and all of that, but then you got that deeper moment of she couldn't even have the picture around.
Yeah.
Like, you specifically knew where she needed to hide it because she couldn't see it. And that's deeper. That's for sure. And that's super valuable. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. So, after this, though, we get to see our character's life start on an upswing, I would say. The next one is January 2013. It says, glad I found a place this nice on my budget. This is pretty cool. I really like this. Just that, okay, I got to live at home for 6 months, get on my feet, figure it out. I think that's really cool. Really glad that she had that for her. And in this one, you get to unpack your room, a bathroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a study. So, like, truly her own place. Like, she's really doing it. And to me, I felt like I could really feel the, like, independence of this is my space, right? Before this, we were like a child, or we had roommates, or our boyfriend that didn't work out, or we went back home. This is finally, like, my spot. And I get to set it up how I want to and, display the things I want to and put them where I want. And that was really nice. I think this was probably my favorite house to decorate as I went. Is like I had more rooms, but also it just felt like it was all mine. There wasn't the other stuff that was already there was my own stuff that was just pre-placed, I guess. But like that was nice.
No, it felt like a really good moment for her because like as you're setting up your old room, like in your own parents' house, she's still setting up her art supplies. Like she's still like pursuing her dream of becoming an artist. And even in this, like she is still pursuing art in the way that this is a 2-bedroom apartment and the second bedroom is her art studio. Like this is her space. And it's just a really nice moment for her to be like, you know what? I'm going to venture on my own. I'm going to become an artist. Like, like life really kicked me on the stomach and I had to move in with my parents or my parents. We don't really know. She was like 26 or 27 at the time when she had to do that. Like 26 or 27 years old, that's got to be like a kick in the stomach. But now she like rose up like a phoenix. What was that? June 2012 to January 23rd. So like 7 months later, like she's just right back on her feet. That's, I just was like, you go, girl. Like kind of moment. It's like, yeah, nice. I'm so happy for you,
Yeah, I was really happy as well. I felt like that was just so nice to like see this work out and get to, I don't know, do it your own way. Even that comment, glad I found a place this nice on my budget. Like there is something of like a real adventure of, okay, I'm going to do this my own way. Like I'm not just getting the place me and my roommates can afford or, whatever. Yeah. Like her really like striking out and choosing this. And that felt really nice.
Yeah. It was a nice moment. That's it. Yeah. I don't think there was any puzzle moments in this one that I can remember anyway. That There was a cane. Did you notice that? Like there was a cane. I'm like, what's the cane for?
I did see that. I wasn't sure about that either.
Yeah, I was like, are you okay? But I don't know. It's a cane. I don't know. She has a cane now.
Yeah. I don't know if that was signifying any kind of like injury or something, but
or like it's something like if her ex-boyfriend comes around, then she just presents the cane like, hey, you're gonna need this, and he's like, for what? And he just like kicks his kneecap in, like, oh, it's like, here, the cane, here you go.
when the fighting section of Unpacking started.
This game has really good combat. Yeah, I have to say that.
Yeah.
Like, really, very proud of the combat in this game.
Surprisingly combat heavy game. No. No. Yeah. So gets her own place. Then our next level, our next moment in the photo album is November 2015. So much more cozy now. Feels like a home. And we're in the same apartment that we were before. But instead, her girlfriend moves in. I was
like, ooh.
And yeah. Oh, this was great. And it was fun coming at this from the other side. Before we moved into the dude's house and it was kind of shitty. And this instead, it really felt like bringing a life together kind of thing.
Yeah.
And putting those. One thing that was pretty cute in this is she has her own stuffed animal too. That there is there. So it's like, okay, cool. These got to go on the bed next to each other. Like they're friends. It felt like, it was nice. And it was really nice. Just like, and feeling like you're like decorating your space together. Like what a big transition of cool. I was me. This was my place. I lived, but now you're coming into it and it's our place and how it changes. This was fantastic. They really nailed that.
Yeah, like when I first played this level and I was unpacking these boxes and I was like first unpacking the kitchen, I was like so mad. The main character like, girl, you don't have enough stuff. Why are you ordering more stuff? And I thought she was like putting in like Amazon orders for like more supplies for her kitchen. I'm like, girl, you don't have enough space for this. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like this girl is insane. And she's unpacking awards. Like she has awards on the shelf now for her art. I'm like, girl, I know you made it big time, but you cannot have all this crap in this apartment. And then I started to unpack more. And I noticed like, oh. And I was like saying to my wife, like, hey, she found a nice lady. And she's like, that's nice. I was like, she found a nice person. But then I got pissed off again. I'm like, oh, so now I had to unpack your stuff. Now I got to unpack your girlfriend's stuff. Like, oh, who do you... You're not paying me for this, okay? Like, unpack your own stuff. But, like, it's like, now I got to pack a second person's stuff. This is bullcrap. It's just... But
that's funny.
Yeah, it was a nice moment, but I was a little little ticked off. I was like, come on now, this is getting ridiculous.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, then the final chapter you probably loved for those same reasons. The final chapter is July 2018. Lots of space and a backyard. We can get a pet now. So now her girlfriend, or I wonder if wife at this point, they've bought a house together, it seems. And their house is pretty big. They've got a bedroom. They've got an upstairs and a downstairs. And their upstairs has a bedroom with a walk-in closet, which is pretty dope, along with a bathroom and a baby room. So they have a baby, too. And then downstairs... has a kitchen, dining room, living room, a half bathroom, a study, and like a foyer, like when you first walk into the house.
Yeah.
And so there's a ton to unpack in this house. And
so pissed.
Yeah. There's so much here. In this house. This one was one where I was especially glad that I just turned the puzzle thing off because I was like, there's so many freaking rooms.
Yeah. Oh my God. So many rooms. And this is the level where you texted me saying like, yeah, that's why I turned it off. I'm like, you can turn it off. I was just like so pissed. I was like, oh my God. Because I was like setting everything in the right place here and there, blah, blah, blah. And I'll get into it in like a later bit. But There was one particular item I couldn't figure out where it went, and I turned it off, and then said like, "Oh, here's your credits." But yeah, I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, this is a lot of shit. It's just like,
oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff here, and it was nice sorting out what their house would look like. Like I liked figuring that out a little bit.
Yeah.
It was nice to see what felt like a really good happy ending. Like, you know, you have a family together, you got your own place, you're getting to set it up. Like, I don't know, that felt like a win. It felt really nice getting there. So,
and she's only,
I thought this was a cool way to end the game.
Yeah, she's only 32 at this point too.
Really?
If I did my math right, if she is 10 or 11 in 2004, so that means she would be 32 in 2018.
Okay.
So she's 32 at the time, so she's not that old. You know, I'm 31. So, and here I am in North Dakota like a loser. At 31.
No one in their 30s is there.
Yeah, no one in their 30s is in North Dakota. We all leave by this point. Instead of move to it.
That's funny.
But yeah, you start to unpack a few things here and there, and I'm getting a little pissed because, you know, I am a minimalist myself, and, you know, after 6 moves, you kind of like minimize your stuff. So then at this move, and there's so much crap, I was like, why do you have this much garbage? Stop with the garbage. But, okay, so I texted you, and I said, I got a major 100% theory about this certain setting, and I was very excited to tell you, and I didn't tell you until we started recording this. You ready for it?
Yeah, tell me about it.
You didn't read the notes, did you?
No.
Okay, ready? That girlfriend and now presumably wife, maybe, that you move into, your partner, right? Your partner that you move into was 100% one of the roommates in the 2007 apartment. 100%. It's 100%. You know how I figured it out? I was starting to unpack things, and I unpacked this tomato sewer, right? Like, you know that little tomato cushion that you put little needles in, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I've seen that. And then I go back to the 2007 apartment. I'm like, there it is. Holy crap. And it's that's not what I started to figure out, but I started to connect the dots here. So, because that tomato cushion, like everybody's got the tomato cushion, right? Like it's pretty standard.
Common.
But there's other things in the 2007 apartment that actually confirm that it is her. It is one of the roommates in the 2007 apartment, because what's her stuffed animal? It's a tiger. It's orange. A lot of the person's stuff who is into sewing is into the color orange. Like, she is into that stuff. She's into orange. There is a tiger in there. But there's also what else do you accrue when you move into your girlfriend? There's a lot of plants. Like this gal's into plants. If you go into the 2007 apartment, there is plant supplies. There is like plant soil. There is like a little shovel. So there is a person who is into sewing, into the color orange, and into plants in the 2007 apartment. That person, one of your roommates, is now the person you moved in with. So you already knew her. It's not some random girl. It's actually someone you knew prior to all of this. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Because like with the guy you move into, that was like a theory I had as I was playing. I was like, oh, there was a guy in the old apartment. Maybe this is a guy. That would be cool. But no, this is like 100%. Like if you connect the dots between the November 2015 scene and the house scene, some of the same stuff still aligns with the 2007 apartment. So it's one of the roommates.
That's great. Yeah. I like that. I like that theory. I think you're right too. I think that's spot on.
Yeah.
That
So if the writers are listening to this, just let me know, or give me a follow. It's fine,
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Well, and I really like that too, like you said, of okay, you were roommates before, you were friends for a while. Our character went through these different things, having a boyfriend, then having it not work out, moving home, getting her own space, and then falling in love and building a family with that previous roommate. That's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's so great, so great to see. What a good quiet love story that we missed, most of the details from, but we get to experience where it went, which is tremendous. So cool.
Like it's already nice enough that like she found somebody, like, oh, she's in her new apartment. She met somebody at maybe like a bar or an art class or something. And it's a nice, but no, it's even nicer to know that she knew this person. Like she lived with this person. Like this person has been with her for a long time, for at least, at this point, at least 11 years. So it's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, that is. I really like that.
Yeah.
Fantastic theory. I feel like that's a good one to wrap kind of our story recap, and we could move into general thoughts from there. One thing I have on a general thought that isn't the game's fault, but is my own maybe false expectation or wrong expectation. But I really thought before I played this game that each item would have like descriptions on them. And so when I'd pick it up, it might say like, you'd pick the bear up and it's like, this
bear.
Is Steve.
This is Steve.
Or, whatever. Or, a picture and you'd pick it up and be like, oh my gosh, best vacation ever. Or a book and be like, oh, I had to read this for English. I hated it. Whatever. I think I anticipated that kind of stuff would happen, which I'm fine that it didn't. Like, I think that could have added color if they wanted to, but I think I'd anticipated that because I think that would have been helpful specifically on the few items where I was like, what the fuck is this? Like my koala magnet that was packed in the living room. Like, I just was like, I don't even know what this is. And then I think it was packed properly on a later level, and I put it on the fridge, and I was like, oh, that's what that item was. I was confused by before. But I wish there was something like that. I understand that, like, maybe that's not what, it seems like they really wanted to go minimalist on telling you things, which I think is cool. But I think there could be a version of this where if the items had descriptions, that could be pretty cool and meaningful too.
Yeah, and it could still tell a story in that way. Like in the last level with the house, like she did write her own children's book, but you have to figure that out by where to place it. But like if you picked it up and be like, wow, I put a lot of work into this. Like just like something simple like that. It's like, oh, snap. Like, it would have been another way to tell the story. Like you said, I like your idea rather than, like, pick up a book and it says, book. It's like, cool.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, no, I like that. But, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But, yeah.
No, you totally didn't. That was great. My other thing is less about the game, but I was curious your thoughts on this. So I've moved a bit in my time, but most of it's just been around the city I live in. Like in college, I lived in a couple different like apartments or houses. My wife and I have lived in a couple different apartments before buying a house last year. So like I've lived in a few spaces, but they've all been in the same city. But I know for you've actually moved cities and across the country across the country once, but through various cities and states quite a few times. So I was curious what like your thoughts on this game were, having been someone who's moved into pretty different places over the years.
Yeah, it's this hit me pretty much at home with this one because there is emotional beats to unpacking, and that's what for me and Liz was. Because like I said, like other than moving into college and moving back home, like in breaks and stuff, like summer break, that kind of moving. Moving back home officially, like from college, that was a weird move to unpack all my things. It's emotional, like, so I won't go into like my life story, like me and Liz's life story, but to give a couple of highlights, when we first moved to the Long Island house, like we lived in a parsonage when I was a youth pastor in Long Island, and we were unpacking like our stuff that was from like a one bedroom kind of apartment into this 4-bedroom house, and we were unpacking. We're just like, oh, our stuff doesn't fill this place, but that's okay because we're gonna build hopes and dreams, and then we're gonna have a kid and blah blah blah. Like, you know, you get a little bit hopeful for that. So as you're unpacking, you're just like thinking about hopeful things. By the way, no, don't have a kid yet. You know, infertility, hooray. We're pretty open about that, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, you get all these hopes and dreams. But after that, and this is the last highlight I'll give. After that, it was kind of a salty move from the church. Like, they kind of like pulled the rug from under us, and it was a bad situation. And so they said, like, well, you know, since it's the parsonage, since you decided to quit, which they gave me an ultimatum, and I was like, okay, yeah, we're not staying here. You have 6 weeks to move out of the house. And it's just like, well, where do I go? It's like, it doesn't matter. So we had to find like a place in Pennsylvania back home. And we're just like, I don't know where to go. I don't want to live back with my mom. And because I'm married now. So we found this really old building, a 2-bedroom. And as we were unpacking that place, it was very kind of hurtful. Like, I was spiraling in depression because, like, I loved where I was, and now I'm unpacking, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to go with my life now. You know, it was a lot like that scene where she moved back with her parents, like her back home. It was very emotional. It was very kind of like, I don't know what to do with myself anymore. So this game, I think it hit a mark where a lot of people don't really think about when they're unpacking, is that unpacking a house is very emotional. It has a lot of different emotions. It can be really cool, really hopeful, or it can be like rock bottom. Like, I'm back here now and I'm unpacking, and there's not enough space for my stuff that I've accrued. You know what I mean? Like, it's very emotional. I don't think a lot of people think about that, but this game nails it. But that's all I have to say about it. Yeah.
No, totally. No, I think you're totally right. I think that I moved a year ago when we like bought a house, and that
I was going to ask you, like, how was unpacking, like, emotionally for you, unpacking this house?
No, yeah, it was something, because it did feel different. Of like, before this, I'd never. This is our first house we've ever bought or whatever. Before, we just rented places, and so there was part of like, oh, this is like our place. Where do we really want it? We're allowed to do what we want, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But then also, like, even before we'd move, the packing and unpacking process before that of like, okay, what's crap we don't need anymore? We're just going to throw this out. Or seeing things and you're like, oh, I forgot about this thing. This was meaningful. It, you know, because I don't know if this happened to you as you've moved through the years, but sometimes there's stuff that just gets shoved in a closet and it sits there the whole time you live there, and you don't look at it again.
Right now, there's a closet. As I'm recording this, there's a closet that I'm looking at that actually has still packed boxes of like decorations that we had that were just like, it doesn't really fit this place, so we'll just put it in there, and when we find like a better spot, we're going to unpack it and, you know, enjoy it more. But yeah, there's literally, I'm looking at it right now, there's a closet right there where it's just like bunch of packed boxes of decorations.
No, yeah, there's totally stuff that way, and some of it like is like that. It's like, okay, this is cool, this is good stuff. It's just not for right now. And sometimes it's just crap you didn't throw away last time, and you probably should now.
Pretty much.
Kind of thing. And I think that there is really something with that. And I think this game did really encapsulate that, despite not spelling it out for us a lot. You know, as we've talked through this, like it didn't, you know, tell you, and then her boyfriend didn't move his stuff and you found your way in. It was like, no, you experienced it and you figured it out or whatever. But very cool.
Yeah, because I've never moved in with anybody. I don't think I ever, because like I said, when we went after the Long Island house, my mom offered for us to stay with her. But, you know, like, as a newly married couple, you know, I didn't want to, not for the privacy's sake, but just like, you know, I don't want to be married and live with my mom. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't want it for me personally. But,
sure,
you know, then we would have to find space, our stuff within her stuff. And I didn't want that either. So I was just like, no, we'll find a place. And it was just like a really old But even now, when I say like I have a bunch of stuff here, like we moved to North Dakota and we got to the first apartment that called us back. Like, okay, we'll take it because we want to go to North Dakota, So, yeah, but yeah, Unpacking has a lot of emotional traits to it, and I think this game really hit the mark with it. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was my general thoughts. Did you have anything else you wanted to share about the game?
I kind of wish I turned off the puzzle sooner, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I got these emotional beats to it. But there was times where I was just like, "Oh my God, where do you go?" And I was just like finding like, "Do you go here? No. Do you go here? No." I was like, "This game, like I hate you so much." It's just,
that's funny.
I did turn it off in the house to get the credits, but I did turn it back on, and I figured out the house afterwards. But yeah, there was like this little wine basket that I didn't know where it went, and I was like, freaking whatever. And it went like under the baby table. I was like, what the heck is it? Doesn't matter. But I was like, whatever. Yeah, it was good though.
Nice. Cool. That's awesome.
Yes.
Great. Well, that's what each of us had about this game. I did ask on Twitter and Reddit a little bit about what people thought. So we've got some thoughts we'll go through from people that wrote in and hear what you all thought about it. So first up, we've got Mai on Twitter, who said, "The art is beautiful, and the narrative is not only great, but also relatable, at least in my case. They were able to tell an emotional story with next to no text, just unpacking items. Amazing experience." Well said. I think she is exactly right there.
And that was Mike Ketty, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Mike Ketty. Hey, she's good people, but
oh yeah, great people.
But yeah, no, exactly right. Like it's just very emotional, but it's very relaxing. It's a good experience, like she said. Yeah. But should I move on to the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Adam, that's my name. Hi. Adam on Twitter said, I didn't write this in, did I?
No, it's not you.
I was like, wait, sometimes I drink rye whiskey, so maybe I did write this in. Adam on Twitter says, I just finished it last night, and I really enjoyed it. I love the subtle storytelling for each chapter/year, and it was very relaxing. The only minor complaint I have is I wish there was a way to see what the object was. There was a few things I couldn't really figure out. I could never figure out what they were. And I liked what your solution to this was, Dan, to tell more story about it rather than just say, oh, you picked up a cat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Adam's onto this. As a fellow Adam, I really agree with this statement. Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, I agree. I think that would have been helpful. Even if there was like a screen off to the side, like if you couldn't figure out what something was, if you could like drag it there and it could tell you like something about it. I think that would have been helpful. But
I know it would have been a lot of work for the developers to like list everything and whatnot, but Donut County did it, so so you can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of work. I will say first and foremost, I don't know shit about making games, except that it's really hard and takes a lot. So anything anyone doesn't do, I can understand.
I was gonna say is like, well, you made James Van Dyke write in 14,000 audio files. I think you can write a little thing about the item that you're picking up.
That's great. Luke on Twitter wrote in and said, I loved it. It was one of my favorite games from 2021. Such a pleasant surprise. I think so too. I think this is, I saw this pop up on a lot of like games you might have missed this year or things like that for 2021. And I like that this had sort of a special place in people's minds or that people heard about it. I think it certainly deserves the acclaim it's gotten.
Because when did this actually come out? This came out November 2nd, 2021. So it came out late 2021 too. And I remember seeing this on Game Pass, and I was always like, because when he texted me about like, hey, are you interested in this game? I'm like, surprisingly, yeah, because I've seen it around, and I'm like, I'll play it sometime. But when he texted me saying like, are you interested in playing it? I'm like, yeah, I am. But I'm glad you actually got me to play this game, because otherwise I think it would have just always been in my back burner. Like, I'll play it sometime. I'll play it sometimes. But, right now I got to play Lost Odyssey, so it's fine. But, yeah, no, it was definitely a surprise, this game was.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, you mind if I take the next two? Because they're kind of shorter ones.
Yeah, go for it.
So we first got Scott on Twitter. I'm assuming this is Scott the Waz from your home state, I'm pretty sure, because everybody from Ohio knows each other, yeah?
I didn't know Scott the Waz was from Ohio.
Yeah, I think I don't think he's Columbus. I think he's Cleveland? I don't know where. I know he's in. I know for a fact he's in Ohio though, because he wrote to you on Twitter. Scott on Twitter says, loved it. And Soph, right? Soph? Yeah. Soph on Twitter says, love this one. Very relaxing. And I think that's main theme here, that like people loved it because it was relaxing. Like it wasn't like this like huge except for the one part where you have to like snap your boyfriend's kneecap in, but to give him a pain. That's the only combat scene that you have in this game. But it's just a very relaxing, chill, like come on, man, just unpack some boxes, it's fine. But people loved it. Yeah, I like these ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. Continuing this trend, Grand Rapidians on Twitter said, I enjoyed it. It's a relaxing game, a new kind of puzzle game. I feel like fit in that theme. And I guess I would just grab the next one, too. The pre-order bonus on Twitter said, same thing. Loved this game. Stellar storytelling in an incredibly inventive way. I think that last comment is spot on. I don't think I've played anything that's like this before. Except maybe Florence. I guess Florence, except it did it more with images. But like, telling a story without words, which is really cool. I guess Journey or like Abzu don't have words either, but their gameplay I guess tells the story more. And I guess it is still gameplay, but it's a little different type of gameplay. But really cool though, either way.
Yeah, it's definitely unique where you have to look for the detail. I feel like I've played some indie games that tell story without, but like nothing like unpacking boxes to tell a story. Like you have to unpack your life to tell your life, Excuse me, but it's unique in that way where I don't think there's a lot of games that tell the story within unpacking your life, in a certain season of your life, let's say. But if you want to go on the churchy crowd, like your season of life. But yeah, I'll go on to say, by the way, I love this person's name. Oh wait, no, I'm on the wrong one. Reginald, which I still like. Yeah, Reginald. Reggie Fils-Aimé writes in on Twitter, says, I really loved it. What a great way to tell a story. Which, yeah, it's a great way to tell a story. I really like it. But yeah, I agree with Reggie Fils-Aimé here. Yeah, for sure, Reginald.
Oh yeah. Emotional Support Viking on Twitter wrote in and said, I've only watched a playthrough, Aoife from Eurogamer, but I was deeply moved and super impressed. Yeah, totally. That's really cool. I haven't watched Aoife's playthrough of Unpacking, but I did watch when she did Life is Strange 2, and that was really good. Yeah.
I feel like I've seen some things from Aoife, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Now we're going to some Reddit comments. Oh, these should be spicy. Lizzie Bozzy on Reddit says, loved it. Related to it hard. Me too. And I am an artist. Oh, here we go. This is why I hit her. Hit Lizzie here. I am an artist trying to get into the illustration animation business. So watching her evolve her craft was just chef's kiss. Man, I'm losing my voice here. Sorry, everybody. I'm recovering from a cold. Love the LGBTQ plus representation, and it was such a chilled, relaxed game, beautifully designed and beautifully designed as well. My only gripe is that I wanted more levels. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree, but like, how many more times do you move in your life? Because like I said, I moved 6 times in my 5 years of marriage, and that's a freakish amount. You know what I mean? Like 6 times in 5 years. That's you don't want to do that.
Yeah, it would be fun if there were more levels. I guess because what you said, it ended at 32. So
yeah, she's 32. It starts at 10 years old, moving into your first room, and then 32 into your first house.
Yeah, that could be interesting to see as it goes. Like, what if your kids grow up, they have their own room, they move out? Like, there could be interesting
DLC.
things along. Yeah, if they did do a DLC, I feel like that could be kind of cool to see, like, the kid grow up and how the house looks because of that or something. But
yeah,
I could understand that though too. Of if you want to cut it here, but
yeah, for sure. But I'm glad you related to it though. Like that's really nice.
Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah. FHQ on Reddit said, "I love the game so much, and yay, LGBTQ plus outcome. Some of the items were a head scratcher, but I felt like an absolute genius when I figured out the rock climbing gear. I super wish that it was longer, or if the game changed according to your placement habits. I mean, I color coded my underwear drawer for no reason."
Wait, what? Did you? Wait, can you color code in your? Is he talking real life or? Wait, what?
I think that the way I think they're saying they unpacked their underwear in a color coded way,
okay.
but they didn't get it. But they didn't get anything for it, and they're like, "Come on, I did all that."
Okay, good. Because I'm like, yo, like not in a way of like you're weird, but I'm like, man, you have your life together.
Oh no,
you have your life together, man. I'm just this sore loser, just throws his underwear on the floor.
I did not pack that way, nor does my real one look that way either way.
No.
But I'm not organized like that at all. But I like that. And I think both of these comments do bring up a good thing of the LGBTQ plus rep. I think this game does a great job at that, and was cool. I thought that was great as well.
Yeah, and I liked how it came out in a certain way of she is finding herself. Like she doesn't become like, first of all, like one thing, and I get tired of hearing, you don't become LGBTQ. Like my point being is that like she's finally becoming comfortable with herself. She's accepting herself as she moves into this first apartment, and I love that beat of just like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be myself. I'm no longer going to move in and fit other people's lives. It's when she evolves from trying to fit herself into somebody else's world to now like this is her space. So like, I can have room to breathe and just say like, who am I really? And that's where she starts to like really accept herself. And that's where the LGBTQ plus representation, sorry, I was looking for the word representation, really comes into play, where she really does accept herself and has that space to really open up and open that part of herself up, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it totally does.
Yeah.
That's right on.
Yeah.
I can get our last one. It's a little longer. It's from Ember Risk, or I don't know how to read, on Reddit.
Yeah, I think you're right. Emberisk.
Emberisk on Reddit. And they say, I did my communications final on how Unpacking tells its story.
Oh,
it's
wow.
It's one of my favorite games, and I really enjoyed playing through it over and over again. That's really cool. I hope you did well on your final. That's awesome. They continue, and they say, I really like the detail put into every character and how many things you can learn just by browsing through how rooms are decorated. The main character is obviously fleshed out, but side characters like the roommates and the ex-boyfriend get fleshed out in their respective stages as well. I wish the game had more scenarios or characters to unpack, but I understand the devs worked really hard in this game and may not want to revisit it. I think the fact that the characters feel like they have a personality, even though they aren't actually seen or heard in the game, is really neat. I think this is really well said. That's spot on. I do feel like I know our main character, despite the fact that you never see her. She doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
But you do get to see her life grow up, like you were talking about on that last comment. It's pretty cool. This is a cool game.
Yeah, and I would really love to know if he did well on your communications final. If you're listening to this, I hope you got a C plus at least. I hope you passed.
I hope you killed it. I think that's super cool to write a final on this. I hope it went well, and I would love to hear if you write in and tell us you did a good job. That would be really cool to hear.
I feel like I wrote a college final as well on a certain game, and I can't remember what game it was, but I'm pretty sure I wrote a video game on one of my finals in class, and I actually got a B plus, and I can't remember what it was for the life of me. But now he says it, I'm like, oh yeah, I think I did that too.
That's awesome. That's really cool. That's great. Well, that's all we've got here for unpacking. Do you have anything else?
I was gonna say, I think we unpacked everything here.
That's true. Yeah. All has been unpacked. Perfect. I love it. So, I guess to wind down again, if people want to check your stuff out, Adam, where can they find all your things?
Yeah. So once again, the most active ones are Strangecast with me and Adnan Riaz. So you can look for Strangecast on YouTube. You can look for Strangecast on your favorite audio podcasting platform. So we talk about Life is Strange there. We have a good time. He's British. I'm American. So I rack on him for being British. So it's a great time. And of course, you can look for my other channel I do with my wife called eVaults. That's E-V as in Victor, A-L-T as in Tom. You can find that on YouTube. It's a video essay channel where we just dropped one, and we're going to film one again about a certain. I won't say what it's about, but it's a game. It's a game that I think everybody should be playing right now, and it's a game that I don't think a lot of people is on their radar. So we're gonna film that pretty soon. Yeah, I'll tell you all off camera. I'll tell you what it is, but yeah, you can film, and then always check out Games and Groceries. All the backlog stuff is all on there, so check out Games and Groceries. I did that with my wife as well. Hopefully that's returning soon after I move again, so that'll be great. But yeah, that's all I have. Yeah.
Awesome. Perfect.
And What's the Biz? Sorry, I keep forgetting to do What's the Biz.
Yes.
Yeah, What's the Biz with Adam and Liz. It's me and my wife just talking about anything. Boom, boom, boom. Did it.
Boom. All the things. And yeah. I'll throw links inside the show notes too. So if people are wanting to check those out, go do it for sure. Yeah. But yeah, thanks again for coming on. I really like that we got to do this again and unpack this cool game. So yeah, that's great. As you said. If people want to get in contact with us, you can do that on Twitter at StoryEverPod. I'm pretty active on there. Our website's TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed.com. That has a backlog of all of our episodes on there, including ones Adam's been on. Also, wherever you get podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever, we're all on those as well. If you'd like to support the podcast financially, you could do that at patreon.com/TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed. There, for as little as $1 per month, that can get you access to monthly bonus episodes we do. So, for instance, I did one about the future of choice-based games, like Life is Strange or Telltale's Walking Dead, stuff like that, and my theory on that, or our favorite Pokemon, that sort of stuff's all on there. So if that interests you, check that out. If you'd like to support the podcast, but not financially, that's cool. I get it. If you'd want to rate and review us on like Apple Podcast or wherever you get your podcast, Spotify has a rating now. Anything like that would be really helpful. Just being able to share games with more people together. If you'd want to help us do that, we'd really appreciate it. Yeah, that's the episode, and we will see you next time.
Peace.